Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tech Podcast series. Today, we have with us Mr. Sasha Kranjac, Cloud Security Architect and CEO at Kloudatech. Sasha is Azure and Security Specialist, Consultant, and Cloud Architect and helps companies and individuals to embrace the cloud and be safe in cyberspace, delivering Microsoft EC Council and his own custom Azure and security courses and Power Class workshops consulting or architecting cloud solutions internationally. Welcome, Sasha.
Hi, welcome.
So, before we start, I would request if you can give a brief introduction about yourself.
My name is Sasha, as you already said much of it. I am a security and cloud specialist, actually, and have been working with computers from a long time ago, and at the moment focusing on the cloud and on security in the cloud, right?
Great. So, Sasha, I was going through your profile and it was pretty amazing as your journey has been incredible. You have a fascinating experience of 20 plus years in the tech industry. How it feels when you look back after all the tech stacks you have learned in all the projects you have contributed.
It's been quite a journey. I've been working with computers since my early years and since I was young. So I started with Windows Server, with Windows version 3 and with Linux distributions back in that time, and worked with actually worked with every Windows operating system version since then. So it was my first computer though, so I started in 80s actually, and that's been a quite a journey. So I've seen everything from the on-premises toward the cloud transition, which is now happening for the last 15 years actually. That started 15 years ago or even earlier. And it's been quite a journey, and I think the most interesting things are in front of us actually.
So, Sasha, you have started your journey as a trainer, and what I believe is the mindset of giving others never changes, and it's pretty much expected. Like, once a teacher is always a teacher, and you can't deny the fact that the honor and the privilege it feels to help someone is learning is absolutely amazing. So, I wanted to ask, how has been your experience with the community?
Well, I started actually teaching a long time ago, so it was kind of logical, or actually the continuation of what I've done locally. I've just expanded my teaching and presenting more broadly than in the city where I am, and in the state where I am, or actually expanded to a continent. Actually, eventually to other continents too. So I started teaching back in the university days, and then expanded that, talking to user groups and then conferences, and first locally, then globally. So certification was the part of it. So it is. I thought so. If I'm already teaching computers, let's make it official, and let's ramp it up a little bit by taking some exams and actually getting a paper or two, a certification or two actually, and then start teaching the Microsoft stuff and other things as well. So it's been quite a journey, and that's how it started actually. So just expanded the local teaching to a more broadly audience, and that's it. And actually never stopped taking exams.
That's awesome. So, Sasha, you're also an MVP, Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, and that is what the young developers are wanting to become MVP every now and then. So, if you can share with these young developers watching us today, how did you become an MVP and how is it like to be an MVP?
Well, at the moment I'm not a developer, but I started as a developer. I started actually I started, and the first thing I've learned was assembler actually, and worked learned Pascal and C, and then also did some COBOL as well, and other things, and then Visual Studio, Visual Basic, and then to Visual C, .NET, and so on. So ASP as well. But eventually did less and less development and more IT Pro stuff. But today the development it's is not diminishing actually. In fact, it's getting more and more popular. So Microsoft's most valuable professional award is an award for community contributions actually. So if there's no exact formula how to get an MVP, but you can visit the mvp.microsoft.com page and see the contribution areas where you can contribute to, and there are also there's also developer oriented there are also developer oriented areas there where you can contribute with any kind of contribution, speaking to user groups, or writing a blog, or making a video. Now it's nowadays very popular on YouTube or elsewhere. So if you have a passion for something, my passion for teaching others actually, or showing others how to do stuff actually brought me this. I've spoken to numerous conferences, and then the award came. So I suggest, if you're passionate for something, to not to hold it for yourself, but if you have any trick, for example, or have anything that might be useful to someone, then why not share it? Write a blog, or make a short video, or just enroll in join your local user group. There are many user groups around the world, and you can find them on meetup.com, for example. And now it's even easier to do that, because in the world of pandemic, and in the IT world where we live, it's easy to do multiple presentations from the convenience of being at home, rather than travel. I used to travel previously, but now, I'm traveling today as well. But if you're starting, then first doing it online remotely is good. But I suggest strongly that you do it in person, because knowing people and sharing knowledge in person is actually what will make your professional life actually easier.
Sure. So keep contributing to the community and keep sharing your knowledge, and you will
Yes,
definitely become an MVP.
definitely, yeah. And then you can get noticed and receive award. But this is the reward for past contribution. It's not for something that you will do. It's what you have already done. So usually people who get the MVP award are the ones that are doing this not because of award, but because they really truly want to help people, and that's when it matters. Then it's easier to you to get the award, because you're doing it for fun. You're doing it because you love it, and by doing it, it doesn't take much effort, and it's fun. And after all, then you're getting noticed, and after that, who knows, you might get the award as well.
Thank you for such amazing pointers. These are some points to be noted down. So, moving ahead, Sasha, you are the solution a cloud security architect at Cloudatech. So, what are your responsibilities in the organization? What does Sasha do for the organization?
Well, for the clients that we have, and also my colleagues, we do some cloud architecture, we do consulting, and we help clients set up their cloud infrastructure, and secure it. So beyond that, we also offer learning on what we do, and that is often connected to the project that we do for a client. So we teach how to use the technology, we teach the architecture, we suggest secure solutions, and we expanded that to include also the official Microsoft training and training for CompTIA, for example, as well recently. So we do Microsoft official curriculum training and CompTIA training as well, along with the consultancy and the cloud architecture for clients. So helping clients actually be secure in the cloud and help their cloud journey, or even if the clients are already in the cloud, we help them make their already existing infrastructure more secure.
Great. So that's some important job you are doing. So, Sasha, I would really love to hear your views as you hold such phenomenal exposure. Where, according to you, the future is taking us, and how will this software industry be going to drive the future? So, are there any skills that you would suggest someone would possess to be future ready?
Well, I suggest that you follow the trends actually, and the technology is changing. So don't be afraid to learn anything new, and to expand the knowledge constantly, because the only thing that is the constant here is the change, in fact, and we know from our nature that the species that last the longer are the ones who adapt to change. So we have to adapt as well. Imagine, you remember the on-premises world that we lived in, and then the developers, administrators, and IT people actually were afraid of the cloud because the primary reason was everyone actually said, "Oh, we will lose our jobs. What we will do?" So, but the people who adapted survived. The one who changed their job slightly, or that moved to another technology, that developed in another language, that learned something new. They survived, and in the future, the changes, the something that we something that is really ability to change is something that will what is most important. But I would also like to say that even if you're a developer, I think that well, today in the world of vast knowledge and vast number of technologies and everything happening so fast, people are just learning things superficially and not very deep, and that's understandable. But to be a good developer or a good IT professional, I think everyone should also learn some very deep manner. So don't be afraid to go even deeper out of your comfort zone. And in doing that, think about the security all the time, and how to make your software more secure. And the security is not just on the IT pro side; it's also on the developer side. So if you're doing Azure DevOps, or if you're doing any kind of DevOps, or if you develop any kind of things, if you're not um, directly involved in DevOps or whatever you do, think of security, because the security skills, I think, will be even more and more important in the future. So we've seen rapid interest in security, both in the IT pro and developer world. That means from the company standpoint and from the individual standpoint, learning about security, and the companies that look for developers who are security aware, who actually know a little bit more on the security side. So don't be afraid to learn new stuff, and if you do so, keep security in mind, because in the future, the cybersecurity will definitely be the game changer, and the ones who know that stuff will be in an advantage.
Great. So, you shouldn't be scared to come out of your comfort zone. That's
Exactly.
so. Thank you, Sasha. That was an insightful podcast. One last request or a question: if you can give a one-liner advice to these young developers, what would it be?
Well, don't just look at the videos. If you copy the code, know what the code does, and don't be afraid to experiment. Do your own stuff. And change things. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because when you make mistakes, you'll learn. So, but don't make mistakes in production, of course. Then make mistakes numerous times at home. Experiment and keep learning. Don't stop learning, because one time that at the moment you stop learning, then everything stops.
Absolutely, you shouldn't stop experimenting. So it was awesome hearing your insights and discussing about the technology community and the future in this podcast. Thank you, Sasha, for giving us your time, for sharing your
Thanks a
views
lot.
and insights with us.
Thank you.
We love to have you with us for other knowledge sessions.
Definitely.
Sure. Thank you.